One, two, three. All right, you're live. It's on you. Hello.
Hey guys, Asa Smith, thanks for the super chat. So, we did talk about Keith and we did talk about the India and Pakistan thing yesterday. So you can probably check yesterday's live stream for that. We had a bit of a discussion on it. So PP, it says the ex contacted after 4 weeks. Asks if she can come by my house Tuesday, Wednesday after work, so we can also talk about some common assets that we have and what to do about that, as we left it hanging when she broke up with me. I don't even know what to think. Does she want closure or use that as an excuse to come by and see me? Well, you should, as Seven Principles Get an X back, assume she wants to see you. Just make a date, hang out, have fun, hook up. Monty A says, Corey, some dating coaches say you shouldn't hook up more than once per week with your friends with benefits if you want to keep it casual, because otherwise things might get complicated. Well, less really is more. Even if you're doing once a week, she's going to want it more. And at some point, she's going to realize that she's just a friends with benefits and she's going to dip. So that's just the way it happens to be. But if you're only interested in seeing a girl once a week, then yeah, she's just a friends with benefits. If you don't want to see her more than that, then you're not, I wouldn't even take her out or spend money on taking her on dates or whatever. But you got it's like a limited time offer on that before she's going to dip.
DKAFTV, what are some red flags in terms of financial habits when vetting a woman?
Well, does she pay her bills on time? Is her car clean? Because typically, if her car's dirty, the box is going to stink. So I've just found that to be true. Because if a woman neglects herself, eventually at some point, she's going to neglect you. Can she pay her rent on time? Does she make her car payment on time? Does she have decent credit? Or is she always broke, a day late and a dollar short, always whining about money or how much money she doesn't have or how expensive her bills are? You want a woman that's competent, that can hold down a job, that can pay her bills, keep her car clean, keep her house clean, just, minimum level of competency that she can take care of herself.
J X Killer 25. She stood me up 2 times. It's been 2 weeks. She is talking about the beach. Do I get a hotel or say I want to hang at my place?
Who's this?
X Killer 25 at the top under PP.
She stood me up 2 times. If she stood you up 2 times, you don't even try to make a date with her. She has to bring up getting together. And you're not going to go to the beach. You're not going to rent a hotel. If she wants to come over, then you can make dinner at your place. But she's got to suggest it. So what I would do in that case is you should treat her how you would treat her if you were tired of fucking her. You'd be nice. You'd be polite. But you're not going to try to go out on dates or ask her to do anything. Because she's already stood you up twice. I mean, Doc Love's rule was, one chance per girl per lifetime. If she cancels the date at the last minute, doesn't mention a reschedule, or worse, she stands you up, he's like, flush the number. But obviously, you're pretty thirsty for the girl. I can understand when you really like somebody, if she's super hot, you're like, I just want to taste, coach. I'm with you, but in this case where she's burned you like that, just be polite, send 2 or 3 text replies back and forth, say, hey, I gotta run, talk to you later. So unless she specifically comes out and says, hey, I want to see you, or when am I going to see you next, or when can I see you, or I want to get together and make it up to you, unless she says something along those lines, you're just, 2, 3 texts and then say, hey, can't talk, got to run, have a great day, whatever. I wouldn't spend the time talking on the phone.
JB Yankees 27. I feel addicted to my ex and it's hard to get over.
That's because you don't have any other choices. And I mean, that really comes when you're younger, typically. But I mean, I see guys a lot older. If a man has never really experienced being with a woman that knocks his socks off for many years, then in reality he hasn't changed his reality filter, because his reality filter is still stuck in the past of the way it was, which was he never got the kind of girl he felt he deserved. And so you just have to spend enough time with the kind of woman where you feel content. You're not looking around, checking out other chicks. You feel like, man, I got the baddest bitch in town on my arm and I don't need anything else. And when you spend enough time with her and you understand what's in the book and you apply it and you get consistent results, then, like I said, over time, it's like those things just don't bother you anymore and you don't think about it. So more choices, more options, and more experience is what you need. And you really need to be with the one that knocks your socks off for a couple of years before that kind of goes away. My girlfriend that had the daughter, it's like after we dated for a few years, it's like, and once the infatuation wore off and the honeymoon period wore off, I just remember kind of chuckling and laughing at myself. It's like it was all a mind fuck because it was really my self-perception, my neediness, my neuroticism. And then when you get a woman that stays with you and loves you and wants to be with you and wants to get married, wants to live happily ever after, wants to be your girlfriend, wants to move in, wants to do all those things, and they're with you and you're able to maintain that and you're never again in a state of fear where you feel like you're going to lose her, then you've kind of arrived. And it typically, because every guy has to go through it, it's like punching through a wall of fear and getting past it. It's just you need enough experience with the kind of woman that you feel is like your dream woman.
Salik Salman. Hey coach, there's this girl which wanted a serious thing, probably marriage, but I told her that I am not ready, so she's being tough and hard. She's talking to me, but still not going on dates.
Well, if she wants something serious and you don't, and now she won't go on dates unless she wants, you agree to something serious, then you should date other women. Why waste her time? If she doesn't want to get together with you, you're clearly trying to keep somebody that doesn't want to keep you.
Leon asks, Corey, how many women do you have? What?
Gentlemen don't kiss and tell.
The boss asks, why isn't Corey Wayne married when he has all the skills to maintain a woman in love and be a good father?
Because I don't want to get married.
Plain and simple.
It's unnecessary to involve the government in your relationship. And so what that tells me is he has fear around his belief. He validates his life based upon whether or not he gets married. And so he's looking for somebody to validate his worldview, and I'm the wrong guy to do that, dude. And besides, I don't talk about who I date or my relationships because I like to keep my private life private. I mean, it's right in the book, gentlemen, no kiss and tell. So if you're looking to somebody to gossip about, this is not the right place.
Tim Sweeney says his girlfriend is giving him the silent treatment. I asked what's wrong and she says nothing. Should I just ignore her until she talks to me? It's my birthday weekend too, so I'm thinking of getting drunk.
Say that again?
His girlfriend is giving him the silent treatment. When she asks what's wrong, she says nothing. Said, should I just ignore her until she talks to me? Said, it's his birthday weekend too.
Well, if your girlfriend is ignoring you on your birthday and giving you the silent treatment, it's you can't fix anything. She's unwilling to participate. And if you go your whole birthday weekend and you don't hear from her, well, you don't really have a girlfriend. Mm-hmm. Maybe you had a friends of benefits. You probably thought she was really into you, or you think she's more into you than she actually is. So sounds like you got some work to do, or you kind of missed the bus along the way, because that's not normal. And you can't solve problems unless you can talk openly and honestly about them. And if a girl's not going to talk, well, she can get the gift of missing you. I wouldn't call her, I wouldn't text her, I wouldn't do anything. If she just says nothing's wrong and she's giving you the silent treatment, it's, hang out with somebody that's got a good attitude. I say it all the time. Girls who are easygoing, easy to get along with. A chick that's a fucking pain in the ass and who's difficult and causes drama or just stonewalls you, she can go on down the fucking road. It's not worth it. Life's too hard. You want a chick that makes your dick hard, not your life. And a lot of you guys are fucking around with girls that are just making your life hard. and you're making excuses, and you're trying to make good wine from bad grapes, and that's kind of impossible.
Says a lot if she doesn't speak to him during his birthday.
Yeah, she doesn't respect you. She doesn't fear losing you. She doesn't have any fear of loss. She's not admiring you. She's not looking up to you. She's got kind of an attitude. Some women are like that. If they're raised in a family where everybody stonewalls each other and gives them the silent treatment, that's abuse. And so you shouldn't be putting up with abusive girls. Again, they can go on down the road.
RSX on progress. Hey Corey, wanted to ask you, how can I get my wife emotionally connected back? We have been married for 7 years and she's has days where she is connected and then disconnected.
Well, women are like that. That's kind of the natural ebb and flow. And if you're validating yourself based upon your wife being excited and enthusiastic towards you, you're going to be disappointed a lot because women are fucking moody, and especially around that time of the month, typically it affects every girl I've ever been with. It affects them to some degree, some worse than others. And so you can't live your life according to whether or not your wife is super excited about you. If you guys live together and you've been together 7 years, sometimes she's going to be really into you and other times she's not. And if she acts like she's a little bored and you spend a lot of time together, go hang out with your mom, go hang out with your dad, go hang out with your family. Go hang out with your buddies. Go to the gym. Go do something for you. And stop hovering looking for her to give you an attaboy.
Bakar. Oh,
yeah,
yeah, say that.
It doesn't matter.
Bakar Khan. In 7 Principles to Get an Ex Back, you should invite her over to your place, but if your parents live with you in your house, how should you proceed?
Well, you're an adult. You got to put your big boy pants on and get an efficiency, get a second job, figure it out, get a little studio apartment somewhere. It's like, I mean, we're adults here. We're not children in school. And do something in your car. You could get a hotel. I mean, get an Airbnb, fucking figure it out. You as a man, you should have a place to live on your own. And if you can't afford something like that, maybe you shouldn't be in a relationship in the first place. You should be focused on getting your life together so you can make some money and be an adult. Because you're basically living like a child. I know some people like to live at home and save money. You're probably from the Middle East or whatever, and that's normal. But I mean, where did you guys go before? Does she have a place and you don't? I mean, that looks pretty beta. A woman's not going to respect you if you can't pay your own bills and your car payment and have a place to live and earn a living. You live with your parents and she has her own place. I know Caroline had that with her last boyfriend. It's like, dude lived at home. He was like a little child. And she has a career. She's hungry. She has goals. She has dreams that she's getting after it. And it was like pushing the wet noodle. She was like his coach, his life coach. And she was unable to motivate him.
Oh, he says it's his house. They
that's
live
what
in
I
his
was
house.
Well, tell your parents to go do something so you can have, I mean, send them away for the weekend or figure it out, dude. Send them out to dinner. Say, hey, I got my girlfriend coming over and I need some alone time. It's, these are kind of immature questions, to be honest with you, when you're asking things like that. It's like you're an adult.
Get them a hotel room or something.
Figure it out, dude.
Or
Tell them
get
to go to
yourself a
dinner
hotel
and have the girl over there. If you have roommates, same thing. Give your roommates a gift card and send them to Ale House or whatever and say, don't come back until 1 a.m. or whatever. It's like, fucking figure it out, dude.
Tony Baloney. Coach, I recently hung out with 2 friends. One is a high achiever like myself, and the other is kind of a lackluster drifter. I'm finding it hard to be his friend anymore because he isn't on the same level as us. Should I spur him to action, or let him flake out and disappear?
Yeah, you're not going to be able to, it's like we were talking about with Caroline's ex-boyfriend. You're not going to be able to motivate people to take care of themselves if they're not already self-motivated. As a coach, that's just something that I learned early on. It's, when I was younger and I was trying to figure things out, my attitude was just tell me what I need to do and I'll do it so I can get results that I want. What are the things that I have to do? And then I would go and do them. I would take action. If your friend is lazy, and this is something that I noticed You know, when I went to Gibbons, I went to school with like the creme de la creme of Fort Lauderdale, some of the wealthiest, most successful families in the world. And you would know their businesses. You would know the sports teams that they own if I mentioned them to you. And just because they were born with a silver spoon in their mouths doesn't mean that they had the same motivation. A lot of times when families grow up, you know, usually like a guy that was broke and then he becomes a multimillionaire, he tends to spoil his kids. He makes it too easy, and then they don't have any ambition. It's kind of, you know, again, Caroline's boyfriend, or his dad was very successful, and they were a little soft on him, and they made life a little too easy. So, you know, he's like a big man child now. So it's like, you know, you got to grow up at some point.
Marvin Jeffrey Matthew, what to do when you ruined a relationship just 2 weeks in because of your own crappy behavior and she broke up with you? I sent an apology 2 days ago. She still ignored me. Should I ask for a call?
If she's ignoring you, you should stop chasing her. You're trying to keep somebody who doesn't want to keep you. The purpose of I mean, if she's ignoring you and you're like, hey, do I keep contacting her and badgering her? That's what a needy, insecure guy does that doesn't have any choices and have any options. So read the book and get out there and go explore humanity.
DKF TV. I've been on and off with the same woman for over 3 years now. She's now saying she doesn't want exclusivity, but if I were to entertain anyone else, she'd be done with me. Should I just move on?
Yeah, because what's going on there is you're too afraid to stand up to her and do what you want. You're too afraid to be a man because you're worried about her approval. And what you should do is she says, hey, I don't want a long-term relationship, but if you date anybody else, I'm going to be done with you. It's like, well, you'll be back. That should be your attitude. And go date whoever you fucking want.
Joe, when getting an ex back after having her over for dinner and hooking up 3 times in a row, should we go back to reaching out once per week if
No,
we don't hear from her?
absolutely not. No. Because she ended it. I mean, this is discussed in Seven Principles Get an Ex Back. She ended it. She's got to fix it. So because I've done countless emails over the years where guys did exactly what you're thinking about doing, and you're thinking about re-engaging in the same behavior that chased her away and caused her to dump you the first time. You're looking for excuses to reach out and speed up the courtship instead of letting her come to you. So if you've done 3 dates where she came over to your house, she made dinner, and you hooked up all 3 times, then the next time she reaches out, then you can go pick her up and take her somewhere and go out on a normal date, but you still let her do all the reaching out. Because what happens if you start reaching out, yeah, as Rusty Merch says, that's the illusion of action. You'll be good for about 2-3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, and then you'll notice that her schedule becomes less open. She becomes less flexible, and it's harder to get her on a date. And then what happens is she starts backing away, and then typically the guy starts chasing, because that's the same behavior that got him dumped. And then he ends up chasing her right back out of his life the second time. And you got to remember, as Seven Principles Get an Ex Back says, she's supposed to be earning another chance with you, not the other way around. You're willing to entertain it. And since she was a good girl and came over and you hooked up all 3 times in a row, you know she's likes you and she's into you. So you're rewarding her by taking her out somewhere else other than just hanging out at your house. So, but again, you got to let her reach out.
Austin Johnson, what are your thoughts on the movie The Little Mermaid? It follows the same formula of attraction as the old movies you talk about.
The last time I watched The Little Mermaid was probably 20 years ago when my little, I guess you call her stepdaughter, was, you know, we used to watch that. Thumbelina was another one. It's like, I don't remember. I haven't watched it.
I don't remember the
since then.
plot either. Do you, Jade?
Well,
I remember there was singing.
she wanted legs. She wanted to be human.
Right.
Maybe human.
She wanted to be where the people were,
This is
man.
kind of like a
She's gonna get
musical.
piped.
She wanted to get piped.
She wanted, she wanted the hot beef injection.
Toasterman, is it okay to wait 4 days after getting a girl's number to text her if I'm busy that weekend? Everyone keeps telling me she will move on if I don't do it right away.
So, Caroline, if Justin Bieber got your phone number and you didn't hear from him for 4 days and then he called you after 5 days or maybe a week, would you give a shit?
No.
Interest cuts through everything, my man.
No.
So you're probably trying to take advice from people that don't know what they're talking about. But you can make a date on the spot. You can call her a couple days later, the next day. It really doesn't fucking matter. You call her when you want. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to create the conditions where you're unpredictable. You don't do what she expects. You don't do what every other guy does. You're just taking your time. You're not in a rush to make anything happen.
Matthew Ray, what do you do if your girl keeps bringing up exclusivity when she's had a drink, but doesn't mention it or acknowledge the conversation when she's sober?
Didn't happen. If she doesn't mention it when she's sober, then she's not feeling it.
I guess we'll never know.
Because, I mean, think about it. How many times have you got, especially you guys that drink, you've gone out, and what happens? You have a few drinks, and you got your arm around all your buddies. You're like, I love you, man. I love you. Oh, you're such a great friend. We've all done that, and we've had friends that do that, and they're kind of obnoxious. And so if she's overly affectionate and overly sweet, talks about the future, but never ever mentions it when she's sober, well, go off of what she does when she's sober. And unless she brings it up, it never happened.
Roy Ray.
Because you can always go, I had a little too much to drink. That evening was a little foggy to me. What did you say that night? Let her tell you.
Roy Ray. Corey, why after about 1 year of dating someone, I feel bored and want to find someone else? This always happened around the 1 year mark. Any thoughts?
Well, at the end of the day, if you no longer, because you're out of the infatuation period now, you're out of the honeymoon period, and so all the newness and all that stuff wore off. And do you like the girl enough? Do you enjoy hanging out with her? Do you enjoy her company? Do you like fucking her? Do you want to continue fucking her? Is it somebody, do you want to have kids? Do you want to have family? Is this somebody that was raised right? Did her father do a good job? Is this somebody that you want as the mother of your children? Because if it's not, if you know you definitely don't want to marry her and you definitely don't want to have kids with her, then you're kind of getting to the point where you're kind of like a fuck buddy, friends with benefits type of relationship. Because life is not a Disney movie. Even when you're head over heels in love and you feel like you got the baddest bitch in the planet, that's not going to last forever. It typically 6 to 12 months is what happens for most people. Then when you've been with her enough, you just kind of get used to it. And then it's no longer a big deal. And if you don't really want to stay with your girlfriend and you're not excited about being with her and you don't feel like disciplining yourself enough to stay with her, then I'd move on. That way she can go find who she really wants to be with and who really wants to be with her.
Oh, go ahead, sweetie.
LOLZs. Corey, how do you overcome addiction and bad habits?
Discipline. What addiction really comes from a failure to feel. And so if you're getting high all day long and you're drinking all day long and fucking around, you're running from stuff that doesn't feel good. And so you should take time to feel it and to be present with the icky feelings and take a few days off. I mean, try to stick to the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time you're healthy, and then 20% of the time smoke your bowl, drink your glass of wine, have your Jello shots, have a shot of Jack Daniels or a nice aged whiskey and a snifter or something. But 80-20, try to be healthy 80% of the time, and then 20% of the time go crazy. Not too crazy. Don't get blackout drunk, especially on dates. For you guys that go out on dates and then you drink too much, and then I was talking to a guy a couple weeks ago, got blackout drunk on a date, didn't remember what happened. All he knows is that things were going great until that date. And then afterwards, she's been really squirrely. And he doesn't really remember what happened. But obviously it did go well.
Iggy Ramirez, if you're back in a relationship with your ex after 8 months apart, how do you deal with the insecurity of the lovers in between and retroactive jealousy?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, for the most part, everybody is somebody else's leftovers. So obsessing over who she fucked, I mean, if you start dating somebody else and they're not a virgin, are you going to obsess over who they dated before you? I mean, that's just silly. There's no point in that. It doesn't help you. I mean, what value does that add to your life to get upset about who she was with when she wasn't with you?
A guy tried showing me their ex.
Recently? On a
Yes.
recent date?
Yes.
That's weird.
Why?
There, because
What was his logic for that?
it was like we were having a conversation, and it was like a news story that I didn't know about, and I was surprised. And he was just like, "Oh, I can show you her. Like, there's nothing there." And I'm like, "I don't want to see your ex."
So he's proving himself to you.
Yeah, I'm like, that's weird.
So all it tells me is, oh, I hope Caroline likes me. Let me show her my ex-girlfriend, and then hopefully she won't be mad at me.
Yeah.
That tells me he's a little squishy.
I'm like,
He's
that's
a little
weird.
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
I don't want to see who you dated. I don't care.
Yeah. So that's weak. That's the weak sauce. Don't do that. It's unattractive. And it turned you off, didn't it?
Yeah, I was like, oh no.
There you go.
I don't know if he's trying to brag or whatever.
So you're like, oh. and
No,
get
just the
jealous
way
or
he
something.
phrased it, he's worried about your approval. He's too worried about you liking him. So that tells me he's way more into you than you are into him. And judging by your reaction, you're disgusted and repulsed by it.
No.
Leon Igor, Corey, thanks to your book, I slept with 100 women. Now it is hard to stay committed to one. Any advice on staying committed?
Well, you have to want to be with them. Do you like her company? Like I was just talking a few minutes ago. It's if you're not really super into the girl, it's just like how often do you meet a new best friend? I mean, those things very rarely happen. And if you're not super into the girls that you're hooking up with, I mean, a lot of those guys that I've seen over my life get in the pickup and seduction community, and they're like, I want to sleep with 100 different women. Is they're just cycling through it because to them the dopamine comes from the successful seduction, but as soon as they smash, they're on to the next. So maybe on some level you're validating your manhood by whether or not that you can take a girl home or not. And the title of the book is Woman of Your Dreams, not just how to fuck women you don't care about and move on. That's not really a hell of an accomplishment. It's you want to date women that you genuinely enjoy hanging out with and you have a real connection with. So that tells me you're spending a lot of time with women that you don't give a flying fuck about. You don't want to listen to them. And as soon as you've had sex, you never want to hear from them again. So that tells me you're kind of punching under your weight.
BR07, when you say character is destiny, could you give an example of that?
Well, if somebody is a liar and a cheater and they've lied and cheated to every person they've ever been with and they come from a family of liars and cheaters and then they lie and cheat on you and then you give them another chance and then they do it again, it's like, well, that's kind of who they are. It's like the scorpion and the frog analogy. And so the scorpion and the frog analogy is like the frog, he's just kind of like swimming around in his little pond. And then a scorpion comes up, hey, Mr. Frog, I need to get to the other side. Can I hop on your back and you can swim me over? He's like, hey, man, you're a scorpion. You'll sting me and I don't want to die. You sting me, I'll drown. He's like, no, why would I do that? If I get on your back to get across the other side and I sting you and it paralyzes you and you sink under the water, I'm going to drown too. And the frog thinks about it. He goes, oh, yeah, it makes sense. So he's like, all right, hop on, dude. So the scorpion hops on and frog is kind of swimming. He's like, hey, this ain't so bad. And all of a sudden, zzz, he's like, ah! He's like, you stung me. Now we're both going to die. And then the scorpion, before they go into the water, he's like, hey, man, I'm a scorpion. It's just what I do.
Mysterious insights, how to pause dating 1 month but keep them interested.
Why would you want to do that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
Are you
'cause
going
he
out
says
of
he wants to focus on his career and health. That's what he
Well,
said.
if you're not into a girl so much that you can date for a month and hook up with her and sleep with her and then you're totally okay with not seeing her for a whole 30 days, well, you're not that into her. So you're wasting your time with her anyways. Again, woman of your dreams, not some mediocre chick that doesn't make your dick hard.
John, all of your advice seems to keep revolving around hooking up. What if I just don't care about hooking up at all? Not a devout Christian or religious type, just devout Christian or religious type, just personally lost interest in it.
Well, number one, that's not true. Number two, you should probably read the book and actually learn what I'm about. But at the end of the day, what are guys most interested in? They want to have sex. That's the first thing you think. When you see a hot girl, you're thinking what you fantasize what it's like to fuck her. And so if you're not attracted to women, or you're not finding women you're attracted to, saying you lost interest in sex. Maybe you're overweight, you're out of shape. Maybe women don't find you attractive, or you haven't met anybody that you really like in a long time, and you should date women that you're into. And if you're devout, well, he says he's not a devout Christian, but if you were, and you're like no sex until marriage, well, the seduction happens on your wedding night. So I'm not advocating that you fuck girls that you don't like. It's how to seduce the women that you do like. And whatever you're doing, you're not meeting the kind of women that excite you. So you need to change your approach and how you go about the women. Maybe shake up your social life a little bit.
Jessica Silva, what's your opinion on getting an apartment together? I'm going back to school for nursing and he is working 2 jobs. I'm worried it won't work out because of what if we end up in that roommate mentality.
Well, eventually at some point, if you're going to stay together, you're going to end up living together. What's always been my experience is like women are like the fucking Borg. When you date them long enough, you end up in a relationship and it's their idea, and the more time you spend together, they just start bringing shit over. They start leaving things there until she's pretty much always at your house. It's just a natural thing that happens. Ideally, if you're going to move in together and sign a lease together and share rent, I would say probably 2 or 3 years of dating before you get to that point. And the reason why, because I've been doing this 20 years. When I see guys that are struggling in their long-term relationships, they always do the same 2 things. They stop dating and courting their girlfriend or their wife, and then they don't make her feel heard and understood. And women want to be in a love story, and so if they stop dating and courting her and they don't make her feel loved, heard, and understood, eventually she's going to think he doesn't care. And if she thinks he doesn't care, then eventually at some point, she'll complain about it for a while. Eventually at some point she'll leave. And so I don't know how long you've been with your boyfriend, but if you guys been together 2 or 3 years, it's like, what's the next natural step for you guys? So what it really sounds like is you're not really, if you really love this guy, you would love to move in with him, to be with him more. But it sounds like you're apprehensive and you're just not that into him.
Wayo, should I still go on dates with other girls even though I think I found the one?
Well, it depends on how far along you are. If you've mastered the stuff in the book and you got the right one and you're going to get her, then you would have already dipped from those other girls.
Oh, Jessica Silva said 5 years.
5 years? Yeah, if after 5 years, because within a couple of years, if you really want to be with somebody, it just kind of sounds like you guys kind of already are roommates. There's no passion there.
5 years is a long time.
Yeah. So maybe you need to re-examine your relationship.
Sportscast. Caroline, what was the tipping point for you to break up with your last boyfriend?
I think that's a question for you.
I didn't know if you wanted me to read that one or not.
I think I knew once I started losing respect. I didn't care to impress him. I didn't care to be involved.
And you were bitchy towards him.
Yeah, it was just
and short with him and irritated.
And I realized once I started doing things for myself, which was to yoga, Pilates, and once I realized I don't really need someone else. He's not really bringing anything into my life, anything good at least. That's when I knew.
Your weekly booty call.
Yeah, I was just like, what's the point? What's the point here?
You wanted a deeper connection.
Yeah.
And it wasn't there, and you gave him enough time. It's tough to go and be single after you've been with somebody for several years. It's not easy for men or women. But at the end of the day, when Elvis has left the building, the only thing really to do is rip the Band-Aid off and pull the plug. Because the longer you stay in it, you're wasting their time and yours the longer you stay in it. And time is zipping by. So you might as well, if you know that it's not going to go anywhere, and especially the woman who's lived with, known the guy, been with him 5 years, and by that point they should have already been living together. It just sounds like neither one of them are really that into it. So you deserve to be with somebody that's really passionate about you and wants to be around you, wants to hang out with you, wants to wake up next to you. And that's been my experience, to be in a relationship 5 years and you're still living apart and you're hemming and hawing about it. That just tells me it's not really lighting you up on the inside.
Yeah, you should always want to be with the other person.
Yeah, well, it's like, we were talking about this in yesterday's live stream. Jade's boyfriend went away for like 4 days for a business trip. And it wasn't a big deal when he first left, but, when he came back after 4 days of not seeing him, she left work early to go spend time with him, even though she could have just waited and worked a full day that she normally does and gone. But, she missed him. So she voted with her feet. She went to her man. That's passion. What Caroline had was not passionate. That's why she's like, yeah, I'm going to go, fuck it, I'm going to go to yoga. Or I'm going to hang out. I remember her going, yeah, he's got one hanger in my closet. That's it. That's all I allow him. I don't even allow him to spend the night for the longest time. It's like, as soon as you hear things like that, that's not going to last.
Yeah, Jack had hangers and clothes in my closet before he even moved in.
Like, it would irritate me knowing that he was just like
there in your own little space, in your own space.
Yeah, you had contempt for him. That's what interesting. I saw it on a video a while back that it was, I think, a couples therapist or a divorce attorney. They said when a relationship gets to a point where the two people have contempt for one another, they can't stand each other, they don't like one another, Elvis has left the building, and Caroline had contempt for her last boyfriend. Just like Jade had contempt for the last boyfriend. They both had contempt for each other. And so when you see that, it's fucked. It's not going to last.
No.
Rick James, bitch! That's worse than contempt for me.
Oh my god.
Oh, I don't know what he was. I guess he's been posting a lot. So.
Did you do this one?
So Hamada, he says, 1 year with my now wife, she chased at first, but now I became too nice and masculine energy is flipping. She is a 6 to 8 on the attraction scale. How to open her up, gain respect, and make her excited again while still loving and giving to them. Well, if she's taking you for granted and is not super excited to see you, then see her less over the next few weeks and see how she responds. Because familiarity breeds contempt. And when you're around your girl too much, you're both going to get bored with each other. And it's just like I was talking about, Jade knew she was going to miss Jack when he left, but after 4 days of not seeing with him, or not seeing and waking up next to him every day and being pregnant with his child, she really wanted to see him to the point where she left early. So absence really does make the heart grow fonder. So that tells me you need to get back to doing the things that you were doing before you met your wife. Maybe go see your family, your parents, your mom. Take your mom to lunch. Tell her you love her. Go hang out with your friends, your family. Do things for you. And let your wife do things on her own without you. And see how it affects her. Because if you're just hovering around her, expecting her interest to go up, then you're going to annoy her. You're going to come off as a little clingy, a little needy, and her interest will actually drop even more. So this also tells me you probably have a little bit of needy tendencies. You're a little too worried about where you stand with her. And obviously you notice that her attraction has dropped. If you're too nice, well, you're going to stop being nice. And you probably need to go back and start reading the book again because you're slipping a little bit. So if you're married and your wife's attraction is slipping, there are probably lots of little things, little subtle nuances from the book that you've missed. So you definitely need to get back to the basics, get back to the fundamentals.
The Fat Muppet. Hey, Coach. Yeah, Coach. So I've been having an affair behind my wife's back for 13 years with a younger woman. Should I even tell her, and how, or should I just keep quiet?
You think I'm your priest or something? It's like, dude.
Oh my god.
You've been fucking around on your wife for 13 years. It's like, so what is telling her? Are you hoping she'll leave you? I don't know what you expect to get out of that situation. What does it accomplish? Because some guys are too weak to end their relationship, and they're hoping that the woman ends it. So, I mean, 13 years, dude, that's pathetic. You're not a man of high character. Let's put it that way. You're not the kind of dude I'd want to hang out with or be friends with.
The Scorpion.
You're the Scorpion, bro.
You reap what you sow.
Exactly. Do better. Maybe you find out that your wife had a boyfriend all along and you were the one getting punked.
Right. then he's gonna be hurt.
I've done phone sessions with guys that get in that situation. They don't care. They're being dirtbags. They're cheating on their girlfriend or their wife, and then they find out, and then they get the karma of that, and they don't like it too much. So A says, Coach, I'm 35, in great shape. I play high-level soccer, and I live with purpose. I get dates, but most women are casually dating. Well, that's a platitude. That sounds like something the red pill guys say. Oh, women aren't interested in that. Well, no, it's just the women you're dating aren't interested in you that way. I'm intentional in looking for something real. It's draining to keep filtering through mismatches. Well, life's hard. Maybe you're going out on too many dates with women who have low interest in you. How about going out on dates with women who are like, hell yeah, I'd love to go out with you. How about some enthusiasm? It sounds like you're going out with girls that you have mediocre interest in and who have mediocre interest in you. So unless there's enthusiasm, unless there's passion, unless you really enjoy her company, talking to her, listening to her, you need to move on. Stop spinning your wheels.
RSX on progress. My wife constantly rolls her eyes at me and tries to correct me by the way I talk and things that I do. She says she's giving me constructive criticism and feel like I have to watch every move.
Say that again.
My wife constantly rolls her eyes at me and tries to correct me by the way I talk and the things that I do. She says that she's giving him constructive criticism, but he feels like he has to watch every move.
Well, has he read the book? It doesn't sound like it. It sounds like his wife is more focused on making his life hard than his dick hard and emasculating him because she's probably pissed off. She probably thinks you're a bitch. Maybe you've displayed weakness because when women don't respect you, they treat you that way. And if you call them out on it and they say, well, I'm just giving you constructive criticism, it's like, well, how about you suck my dick a little bit more and you fuck me a little bit more and focus more on making my dick hard instead of trying to make my life hard and emasculating me all the time. So it's like she thinks you're squishy. She thinks you're soft. So there's not enough information to really go off of in your question, but you definitely need to read the book and correct your unattractive behavior. And if she crosses the line and she's being rude and mean, you need to say, hey, what you just said was abusive or unloving, and I don't appreciate that. You need to apologize. Or don't talk to me like that. Don't talk to me in that condescending tone like I'm some kind of moron and I need you to give me constructive criticism. You need to be sweet. You need to be kind. If you got something you'd like me to do, ask. Don't insult me or belittle me or demean me. That's not the loving thing to do.
You're a grown-ass man.
Yeah.
Jade, Sportscast. What's Jack's views on marriage?
Oh, he wants to. We kind of did things out of order.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay.
It's not technically legally possible right now.
Yeah, no, but it is what it is.
Can we talk about why?
Yeah, that's fine.
The reason why Jade's not getting married is because she's still married. She's married to her first husband.
I thought that was done.
And they split up when you were like, what, 21, 22?
21.
21 fucking years old. The guy has kids with his new girl, but neither one of them did anything to actually go and get officially divorced. They're on good terms, but she just hasn't done it. Now she's got a man. She's pregnant with his baby.
Yeah.
And so how does that come? Have you made any progress?
I got papers.
I remember you asked me a few months ago about the papers and stuff.
I have the papers. I just gotta find somebody to help me fill them out.
So you just, they don't really need to. There's no real motivation because you've had them for a while. If it was that important, you would have gotten them filled out.
Yeah.
But you didn't.
I thought you did with those stacks of papers you had.
I have it. I still have the stack. I just haven't filled it. It's like you have to fill it out, and it costs money to fill it out. Oh. It costs money to take them and get them filed. So, yeah, I gotta get like a lawyer or something or somebody.
Kane Miss says, "How does a divorce take that long?" Well, it takes that long when neither one of them are doing anything to go through a divorce.
If one doesn't answer.
Because you're what, 33, 34?
Yeah, I'm about to be 34.
So that was we're talking like 12. Oh, so he doesn't even answer or respond.
He does. He just waits. He's waiting for me to do it.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to spend the money to do it.
Another reason why you're not with that guy.
How
Yeah.
much is it?
It's expensive. It's a no contest divorce. So because we don't have any property, we don't have kids or anything. So it is what it is.
Toaster Mean says how to stay resilient with haters and a shrinking social circle after releasing music. Luke Main on Spotify. I couldn't have done it without Corey Wayne. Well, what you're finding is you become more successful, you're going to have people that you thought were on your team. They're not going to be happy about you doing better than them. They want you to be successful just as long as you're not more successful than them. And that's par for the course. Every person that ever started from nothing and became something I saw the same thing in my own life, my own peer group, because people see you doing better. It's like some of them fear losing you, and other ones, they don't like being one-upped. Or that you're like a mirror to them of how unsuccessful and lazy they are. So when you're successful or you're poor and broke, your friends love you either way. When you're poor and broke all the time and then you start to become successful and the people you thought were on your team start giving you shit and being mean about it, well, that's how you realize they're not really on your team.
Someone said the baby has already read the book 15 to 20 times.
Yeah, probably. It can hear now, so.
Yeah.
Hamada, 1 year with my now wife. She chased first, but now I became too nice and masculine. Energy is.
I just did that one, Jade.
Oh, you did?
Try to pay attention.
Cool key.
Try to keep up, Jade.
My ex has been driving by my house these last few nights. I'm wondering if she's checking on me after she gets done seeing another dude, or is she just curious? What do I do?
Well, you can always pull your pants down and stick your ass up to the front window and moon her. That way she knows you notice that she's driving by. The fact that she's driving by your place, that obviously on some level she still cares.
Digitalize X. Is it okay to take yourself out of the game to lock into getting more income?
Sure. Absolutely.
Why not?
The boss. You said in your book that your radar is very sharp when it comes to knowing if women are interested in you. Can go more in details for us to become better at knowing high interest signals.
Well, it's just the stuff that's in the book. You got to practice it enough and you got to interact with women enough to notice it. And then it just gets to the point where you got like a sixth sense. It's women play with their hair. They twirl it around their fingers. They touch your arm. They stand too close. They laugh at all your stupid jokes. They come up with reasons and excuses to be near you or to talk to you or to ask questions. They literally will put themselves in your orbit. It's like being at the gym. Girls often will come and sit down on a piece of equipment right next to you or right in front of you so you guys are facing each other. That's typically about as far as the average woman is willing to go to get your attention. So you gotta pay attention to those things versus a woman whose body language looks like she's turned sideways because she's trying to escape. She's not laughing at your corny jokes. And it seems like she just is not really excited to be around you.
Cool, Keith. I'm an avoidant, dating an avoidant. Any tips?
Apply what's in the book. I mean, like I see a lot of people using because it's really only the last 2-3 years that people started talking about attachment styles. And at the end of the day, none of that shit really matters when it comes to creating attraction. So the thing you have control over is how you show up. And so that's what we call controlling the controllables. So the only thing you can control is your own behavior. So know the book backwards and forwards so you can display the attractive behavior and get to the point where you do it that way for years to where it becomes a part of you versus trying to be a cherry picker, I should say.
What's an avoidant?
Well, you can look it up. There's a whole thing on it. I'm not going to go into it.
Nick Daxon. Should I be dating still if I'm moving to a different country in 5 months? I met a nice girl who shows interest in me. I want to spend time with, but don't want to lead her on for something long term.
Hang on, have fun, hook up, man. She knows you're leaving. You like hanging out with her, she likes hanging out with you, then you might as well keep dating. See what happens.
Um. Oh, Picard. Somebody asked this the other. Why are you always wearing Under Armour t-shirts?
I answered that yesterday.
Yeah, they're comfy.
Yep, they're comfy and they're nice. They make nice clothes.
I can't. This is in Japanese, but she asked me to give her another chance, but she's also giving chances to other guys. Should I give her an ultimatum to be with me, or take it easy and date others too?
I would just treat her like one of the girls in your practice squad. Never call, never text. If she reaches out, invite her over, hang out, have fun, hook up. And other than that, who cares? Also wear a raincoat, because if she's hooking up with random dudes, you don't want to get something funky or the gift that keeps on giving.
This is an update from John. He says, to follow up on my question, I lost my mojo, as Austin Powers would say. Plenty of women who blow me away, but I need a genuine emotional connection to be turned on. What do I do?
Stop wasting your time with women that don't turn you on.
He's the guy
You
that
can't make your heart feel something it doesn't feel. You either like somebody and like hanging out with them, or you don't. There's no like middle of the road. If you don't genuinely, you're not excited to see her, excited to be around her, excited to listen to her, you're wasting your time. Kane missed. Is Tom Brady an alpha male even though his wife divorced him? Well, I would say Tom has been able to skate on his looks and his charm and his success his whole life. But it was pretty clear from what I know through my own sources that she cheated on him and was fucking the jiu-jitsu guy. But I mean, the mistake he made is he didn't date and court her properly. Didn't make her feel heard and understood. And eventually she tapped out. And the way she went about it wasn't very fucking nice. I mean, it became pretty obvious. I mean, if you saw part of the roast, the celebrity roast, you know, she cheated on him. Everybody kind of knew that. And you know, she kind of dicked him down pretty bad. His last year in the NFL, she was supposedly on his team, on Team Tom Brady, and he always said he was going to play till he was 45. And so she waited till like the beginning of the season to leave him right in the middle of the season in a very public way. You know, she could have done that in the off season or afterwards, but she waited until he was in the middle of the season to blow their marriage up. So it wasn't a very nice thing to do. It was very shitty on her part, and that just tells me she's not a very good person.
DC378.
And let me finish.
Oh,
and
sorry.
so when it comes to ladies, Tom's a little soft. And again, he's been able to skate on his looks and his reputation. But he's a little squishy. A little too squishy.
DC378. Hi, coach. Haven't yet attracted a woman who knocks my socks off. Is there any difference to attracting what I deem 9/10s, or is it just that I need to keep circulating and improving my life?
You got to keep circulating and focusing on yourself and making a great life and lifestyle, because you just never know when it's going to happen. It always happens when you're in the mode and you're not even thinking about it. You're not thinking, oh, I hope I meet somebody tonight, or I hope I meet somebody this weekend. It's just, you're out, you're completely immersed and focused on whatever you're doing, and then boom, you meet a girl that just changes your life. That's what happens.
Mysterious insights is being emotional and unattractive behavior.
Ladies, what happens when a guy gets all emotional and cries and wants you to be his mommy, and he can't handle life and it's too hard?
Oh, no. I mean, there's like, if you're upset because, you know, something serious happened, like a family member dies or something like that, but if you're complaining about your job, or you're not making enough money, or your goals are not coming into place like you want them to, then, and you're crying about it, like, we don't want to hear that. We want to hear that you're trying harder to work for those things for you and our relationship, and be more masculine.
Yeah. I agree.
I concur.
I concur.
The ladies have spoken. Don't make your girl your mommy or your fucking therapist. It's disgusting and it's repulsive. I don't put it as diplomatically as the ladies do, but don't fucking do it. It makes you look like a bitch. Even if the girl, oh, talk about your feelings. I want to hear about your fears. Don't do it. Women aren't set up to handle it. Because when you do dump that on them, now they're worried about what you're worrying about. And it's unhelpful.
Yeah. Walsh, is it common to lose yourself in a relationship? My woman
Yes.
was so into me in the beginning, and then it's like she's a different person, and now she said she needs to focus on herself.
So the reason she needs to focus on herself is because she's tired of focusing on you. And her attraction is low, her respect is low, and so her interest is low. And when she says, I need to focus on myself, what she's basically saying is, I don't want to be around you very much. You've dried my pussy up, drier than the Sahara Desert. So I'm going to go do something else.
Mysterious insights. What to post on social media after a breakup?
Well, you should be just living your life, living your best life. Because if she doesn't want to be with you, then... Because what typically happens, because I talk to so many dudes that just had a breakup or in the process of one, is you got to get refocused on all your goals. I was talking, I think I mentioned this yesterday's live stream. There was a client I had recently that I was talking to, and he was with his girlfriend, I think, a year and a half, 2 years. And he was fit and jacked, and he was screwing girls left and right, and they were coming out of the woodwork, and he was on top of the world. And then a year and a half later, his friends are like, bro, you kind of let yourself go. You're fucking fat, You're pudgy. And because the guy goes from washboard abs to having a gut. And he's getting called out on it. And so he had stopped working out many months ago. He'd stopped going to jiu-jitsu 2 to 3 times a week. All the things that he was doing that made him interesting and mysterious and exciting and masculine, he quit doing them once he got into the relationship. And he got soft and he neglected himself. He dropped standards, and eventually his girl left because she wasn't with the same man anymore because he let himself go. You can't let yourself go. You got to make the effort. It's part of being disciplined. And what does Jocko Willink say? Discipline equals freedom, including in your relationship.
Stephen Adalco. I hooked up with my ex 3 times in a row, took her on a date, and we didn't hook up that night. She scheduled a maybe date, then predictably canceled last minute.
Yeah, you don't make maybe dates. So what happened was he had 3 good dates at his place. And then he got a little sloppy and soft and squishy and let her leave things up in the air. And so I wouldn't call her. I wouldn't text her. He probably also started pursuing her again after he hooked up. Again, that's not what 7 Principles Get an X-Pack says. But guys still do it. We had one guy earlier in the chat about an hour ago asking the same thing because he was about, I think, to have a 3rd date, or he had 3 dates, I think it was. And now he's, hey, is it okay to call her once a week? Because when you do that, you end up like what this guy is. Because if she ended it, she's got to fix it. And therefore, she's got to do all the reaching out. But if she reaches out and you leave things up in the air and you don't make a definite date, well, you're being soft and squishy and sloppy instead of masculine, direct, and decisive. And that's what happens. You act unmasculine, you're going to get punished. So I wouldn't do anything. And especially if she didn't show up or canceled at the last minute with an excuse, never ever bring up getting together again unless she brings it up first. So keep your texting to 2 to 3 replies max. If she calls you, talk for 2 or 3 minutes and then say, hey, I got to run. I'll talk to you later. Hey, it was great hearing from you. I got to run. Talk to you later. And don't try to set another date until she brings it up first. And also in the meantime, you need to be reading the book and figure it out what the hell you're doing when you're with her. Because if she came over 3 dates in a row and then started getting squirrely, that tells me you started backsliding and displaying more unattractive beta behavior. So you turned her off instead of turning her on.
Cool Keith says, it's crazy how someone like Tom can get stepped on like that. Dude has looks, fame, and charm. It's hard out here.
Yeah. The looks, the fame, the charm, it gets you in the door. But if you act like a bitch, women are going to treat you like a bitch. And, I know from some of the women he's talked to that I hear through the grapevine, He talks about his bad relationships, and he's saying things. He's soft and squishy. He ain't nothing like Julian Edelman, who's a fucking dog. Tom Brady needs to be more like Julian Edelman, and then he wouldn't have these kinds of problems he's been having.
JJE, if your girl glances at other guys for a few seconds when you're out at a cafe, do you bring it up or stay silent? What would the 3% man do?
Just notice it. I mean, women are going to do that. If we were with somebody long enough, she's going to look, she's going to check out other girls, she's going to check out other guys. It's nothing to freak out about.
Be confident.
Be confident.
That's your girl. You're going home with her, so.
Yep, you're going home to beat up her pelvis, not that dude. But maybe when you are beating up her pelvis, she'll be thinking about him.
That's terrible.
We have a problem with that. Our neighbor next door, they have a gardener. He doesn't speak English, but it's funny because he always waves at me when I walk past with the dog. But when Jack's with me, he doesn't. He just doesn't look at me or wave. And I said something to Jack, and he goes, "That's because he likes you." And I was like, he's like, "Stop!" He's like, "Stop waving to him."
There you go.
I was like,
You're reciprocating the attention. So that guy's probably going, "She likes me. I got a chance."
I'm just like, because I talked to the guy that owns the house, and he's nice, but it's just funny. I was just like, okay.
Ghost CCC says, my 8-month girlfriend wants to be with me constantly. Hey, I can get you to that point, but you wanting to stay with them, I can't help you with that. But gets moody when we spend too much time together. How do I pull back without causing drama or distance? Well, if she gets moody, that tells me she's getting a little bitchy because she doesn't respect you. Maybe you're doing and saying things to display some weakness. Because that's typically, if you're not being masculine all the time or you're vacillating, that's usually when you see the bitchiness. But it could also be around that time of the month where she kind of gets that way? And if that's the case, well, that's kind of normal. You got to deal with shitty weather sometimes. And sometimes you got to deal with your girl just being in a shitty mood. And if she's in a shitty mood, then go do something else. And it's not a pulling back. It's just go do things without her and let her wonder what you're doing or what you're up to. Joshua Samuha. Friends with benefits with an ex for 3 months. She does pursuing and dates are great, but twice a month. I follow the book, but her attraction isn't growing, neither up or down. Other dudes are in the picture. She's content with the situation. Pull back more or cut it off. You're a booty call. That's it. You should be dating and fucking other women. That's probably part of your problem. So get some other choices, get some other options, and stop being so serious about somebody who treats you like an afterthought or an occasional booty. If you're only seeing each other twice a month, you're an occasional booty call. So let her do all the reaching out. And then just, in that case, I just invite her over and hang out, have fun, hook up. But I know Joshua because I've talked to him before, and he tends to be a little beta and a little squishy, and he tends to revert back to that. That's his personal struggle between being too nice and soft and being too masculine and strong. So it's an art, and you need some more choices and some more options, and I know I've told you that before.
The boss, if like attracts like, how is it possible someone can be very attracted to us, but we feel zero attraction towards them, despite having a lot in common?
Attraction is not a choice. You know instantly within 2-3 seconds if you like somebody and would sleep with them or not. So it doesn't mean because they're attracted to you that you automatically have to be attracted to them. That's not how it works. When I say like attracts like, people that like the same things tend to like each other. Doesn't mean they definitely will like you back just because you like them, but there's a higher chance that they will.
Kevin Thau made a first definite date on Tuesday. She canceled because of bad allergies the morning of, but asked to reschedule for next week. Told her I'd have to know my schedule by Sunday and would get back to her.
Well, she mentioned a reschedule, so the fact that you told her you'll get back to her is good. So maybe Monday, Tuesday, you get back together with her and try to set a date, maybe for the following week. Just kind of push it out a little bit further.
Yeah, he said radio silence since Tuesday. Should I even get back to her?
Tuesday was when she canceled?
I guess so.
Well, he told her he was going to get
yeah.
back to her, right?
Yeah.
So get back to her. Just take a little bit longer to get back to her than you normally would. Asa Smith says, I cold approached a woman yesterday and asked her out. She responded back on text stating that she appreciated my masculine approach and she thought I was very cute. Her rule states she cannot see guys within the same program. Structured? That's what it looks like, or it's just an excuse for having low interest. So she's complimenting you in your approach. So all I would say to her is like, hey, well, hit me up if you change your mind, and then never call, text her again for any reason. And if she comes up and approaches you, wants to talk to you or whatever, chat with her, but I wouldn't ask her out again. I wouldn't do anything. Let her do the reaching out, because now she's got your number. Because you want her to do is you want her to break her so-called rules. I think she was just complimenting you because you were very masculine in your approach, but at the end of the day, she didn't like you enough to go out on a date. So structured, low interest is what I would chalk that up to.
Sam Waddington, I am talking to a girl who keeps wanting to call and talk over the phone, and we have not met yet. What do I do?
Set a date and then get off the fucking phone. The phone's for setting dates. Unless you enjoy wasting your time and spinning your wheels, and keep doing it.
The Fat Muppet. If women are allowed to be mean when you're insecure, then aren't men allowed to be mean when women are insecure too?
Be dangerous, but kind. If she's being a bitch to you and being mean, call her out on it. Just say, the way you're talking to me, the tone of your voice, you need to knock it off. Don't talk to me that way. It's very rude. It's very disrespectful. Because if you allow it, if you don't stand up to her, then you're inviting more of it. What?
He
It
just
was yawn and it
yawned.
was like,
Len McGurrick, he wants to know who narrates your audiobook and how long does it take to listen to it?
I narrated it personally, and it's, what is it, 7.5 hours, I think. If you put the audiobook on 2-speed and follow along in a digital or physical copy, you can get through it in about 4 hours. But you're going to need to read it 10 to 15 times to really get to know it backwards and forwards. If you think you're just going to go through the book once and your life's going to change, you might as well give the book to somebody else, because it's not going to help you. There are no shortcuts to success, and anybody that tells you there is full of shit. Because this stuff is hard. The stuff that's in my book is hard. And what makes it hard is when you're dating somebody and you really like them. All of your insecurities, your fears, your doubts, your mommy, your daddy issues, those all come to the forefront. So it's really hard to exercise self-control and do the things that are in the book when you're learning. So it's going to take time. It's not an overnight thing. You got to participate in your own rescue. And if you're just looking for a quick fix, I'm not a quick fix guy. If you just thumb through the book once and watch videos and cherry pick, you'll get some attainable success, but you won't be able to sustain it.
PP, Coach, if X comes by your house and you hook up, but it's getting late at night and she's living in next town and also she is not driving, do you offer to drive her to her home?
Well, how did she get there?
I mean, if you're drinking, you shouldn't be driving her home.
Oh, he went and picked her up?
Well, no, I'm just saying should he offer to take her home? But if he's been drinking, he shouldn't take her home.
She could take a fucking Uber. I assume she took an Uber there. If she's, oh, you got to drive me back. He's like, babe, I've been drinking. I'm not driving you anywhere.
Sleep over.
Yeah, you get a sleepover. Then you can get she can take advantage of your morning wood.
BR07. How do you stay confident when dating a super feminine alpha female who has a better position and earns more?
Well, it helps to know the book backwards and forwards, because what that tells me is you're still pedestalizing women. You still internally feel like you don't deserve to be there and you're not good enough for her. And so therefore you're more focused on her approval instead of creating the conditions where she could seek yours. And so that's, when this is what I was just talking about a minute ago. This is when it gets really hard. You can read the book 10 to 15 times and hook up with girls left and right that you're really not that into. But when you date one that you're super into and she's smart, she's high IQ, she's very successful, your game has got to be tight. Otherwise, when she gets a whiff that you're a beta, she's going to pull back. She's going to test you. And if you haven't really taken the time to learn the book and you haven't practiced it enough with other women, things are going to typically get squirrely really fast and not in your favor.
Don't I personally say don't date someone you feel like you're in a competition with, because that's how I felt with my previous relationship, because I had more financially and
You were more successful than he was. You were
Yes.
dating down.
yeah, and it was like
That was a charity case.
when he would get upset, he would like try to compare like my job to other jobs, like, oh, you don't work a 9 to 5, you don't know what it's like. And I'm like, sorry, I'm working smarter, not harder. Like
Sorry, you're a big fat fucking pussy.
like,
He
Sorry
is
that your balls never dropped.
insecure.
Sorry that your dad made you so fucking soft.
so it's like it doesn't feel nice, and you don't want to date someone where you feel like insecure or any of that.
Yeah, you should be building each other up. Again, life is hard enough. Relationships are hard enough without somebody talking shit.
Oxy Up admin, been with a girl for 5 years. When I met her, she was broke, and I supported her and created a path for her to make money online. After she got rich, she decided to leave me and get her own apartment. Uh-oh.
On to the next. So that tells me the power had definitely flipped, and you gotta fill in your knowledge gap with the book, dude. If you go through the book, there'll be things that'll jump out at you that you'll realize, oh man, I was doing that and saying that. No wonder she dipped.
Ryan, I walked away from a 10-year relationship. I'm doing just fine with the decision I made, but is it okay to have a friendship with an ex? If so, how long should you wait to have a friendship with her or them?
He wants to have a friendship with her.
Yeah, after 10 years.
It's probably best to focus on moving on. That almost sounds like he's regretting his decision. He has, because guys get scared, and especially if they haven't met the next great love of their life within 90 days, they're ready to tap out and give up, and then they go back to what wasn't working or what wasn't doing it for them. And if you go back, especially in that situation, then after maybe 90 days, you'll end up in the same place you were before, realizing that she turned you off for all the same reasons.
LES says, thoughts on how to handle long distance. What should be avoided? How do you handle the use of emojis? Are they childish?
Well, as a man, I wouldn't be sending tons of emojis. That's very girlish. If she sends you a meme, you can like it. But if you're long distance, ideally, and once a week video date, and then once a month you should travel to see her, and the next month she should travel to see you. Anything longer than that, you're just kind of wasting your time.
Deuce Grego, my girlfriend lives 10 minutes apart. She often calls to complain about work. I'd rather have her coming over instead of listening to her for an hour.
Just say, come over. Let's come over. Let's talk about it. Don't sit there on the phone and let her drone on, because this way she comes over, hangs out, vents, and then you can beat up her pelvis. So you both win.
He says she says that she's too tired to come.
Then just say, okay, well, let's talk about it tomorrow on our next date, or let's talk about it next time we get together. I'm tired too, so I'm gonna go to bed. Yeah, you're like digital pen pals.
Where wait.
People agree with no emojis.
Oh.
No emojis, clowns.
Kenny Morris, Corey, what's your thoughts on you don't look at any of your ex's stories on Instagram or Snapchat, but you still follow her, but she always views yours?
Well, when you still follow each other, but you don't look at her stories, that's the kind of thing that causes her to wonder, why is he not looking at my stories? And then maybe she thinks that maybe you met somebody else, and so she starts trying to figure out what's going on. But you obviously should know that when you do view the stories, that she's going to see that. And then she knows that you're creeping her social media. And whoever that is, pick him up and put him on the couch. Well, just whichever one is growling.
At that point, like, why are you following the person if you're not looking at any other
Except
stuff?
little Elon. He will pee on the couch. All right, then put him on the ground. Put him on the ground because he's going to pee, Jade. Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Momo and Lila can be on the couch, but not little Elon.
Don't do that. Arturo Perez, how to get an ex back after I lied to her that I didn't hook up with a girl after she broke up with me. She went through my phone and saw old messages with the hookup. She says she still loves me.
Say that again?
How to get an ex back after I lied to her that I didn't hook up with a girl after she broke up with me. She went through his phone and saw old messages.
She dumped him and he lied to her and then got caught in the lie.
Mm-hmm. After they broke up, she went through his phone.
Okay, well, why is he giving her access to her phone? Who's that? Oh,
Erica?
I didn't know you were coming.
I told you I was
Well, you didn't say anything. We put the camera and the mic away.
You can sit here.
Yeah, you could
Oh,
probably
mic.
sit in the middle.
Erica's in the building.
my god, puppy attacks.
All right.
All good.
I just completely lost where we were.
I have them going up and some that we missed. Big Lobster, currently in no contact. Relationship was great but had lots of outside interference. Interference has now been removed, but how long will no contact last?
Forever, until you never ever speak or see each other again. I mean, that's what no contact is. It's you've both walked away from the negotiating table. Like the guy we were starting to talk about when Erica walked in. It's if she doesn't want to talk, she doesn't want to see you, and you go no contact. That means unless she breaks it, unless she reaches out, you're never going to speak as long as you live. So you don't try to keep somebody that doesn't want to keep you. That's why you go no contact. Because the other person eventually, if there's still interest, will start to second guess themselves.
Cool, Keith. My girlfriend thinks I'm 31, but I'm 41. 6 months in. Help. Oh, that's crazy.
You fucked up, dude. Probably somebody that was doing online dating and bullshitting it, or I don't know. That's like, well, it's like dealing with the IRS. It's a need to know basis, so why bring it up? Maybe down the road.
How do you get away with
You got to be honest. It's like fucking A, have some integrity, dude. Getting into a relationship with a woman 6 months down the road and she thinks you're 15 years younger. Like, come on.
It's pretty intense.
Yeah, the retard alert. There's a Twitter account called Retard Finder.
What?
That's not nice.
I think I'm gonna tag him.
It's like she hasn't looked at his license or any. Hey, looked at his license or anything?
You guys haven't gone on any trips together yet?
Erica, you probably gotta bring a mic closer to you when you talk.
I'll come sit next to Caroline. Yeah, if you guys go on any trips together, then she's gonna look at your ID and that will all go out the window. She'll know how old you are.
Ghost CC, are you ever going to do some sort of book signing?
No. It's like, why? Why would you want my signature? It's like, I'm just another dude, man.
How about you sign some and I'll sell them for $50 each?
Andrew on Corey, 10 years ago, you were understanding of streetwalkers. Now you tell us to separate the good from the bad. What changed? I don't know what you're talking about. You got to be more specific.
Someone said you're hot, Erica.
BR07. Damn, you're hot. The one with the glasses. You don't know what she's like off camera.
You guys are seeing it.
You're hot, then you're cold. You're yes, then you're
Actually,
no.
pretty hot in here.
Stunt crazy. Interested in meet and greets?
Nope. Why? I don't even like when people come up to me. I'm like in the middle of conversation, or I'm trying to put food in my mouth, or I got a piece of pizza in my hand, and somebody sticks their hand in my face and wants to shake my hand, and I'm like, I'm eating, dude. So, I don't like getting recognized. It's like if you see me, it's just pretend you don't even notice. That makes my day.
Oh, Cool Keith did a follow up.
He did.
What?
She asked my age and I told her I'm 40. She didn't believe me. I look way too young. She said, "No, you're 30." I said, "Okay, I'm 30." Okay, well there you go.
There you go.
There you go. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
You got the mulligan. You're totally free in that.
And they celebrated the birthday.
She said what's worse is she's just celebrated my birthday with me.
Oh,
She's 23.
Well,
Oh,
then
did she get
obviously
you a
she
cake?
knows.
did she get you a cake?
Or maybe she's got a couple of
Or maybe
sponsors.
he's having a couple cocktails at lunch. He's got a nice little buzz and he's just trolling us.
That's sad.
I'll be 30 for you tonight.
Oh my gosh. Kenny Mantone. As a young man, 23, is it worth waiting to get my own place before trying to go all in, or it's dating, or is that stupid?
Well, you got to have a place to fuck. You got to have a place for sex and intimacy to happen. It's like, do you want to live like an adult or you want to be a child? I mean, when I was 21 years old, I moved out. I had a brand new car. I had brand new furniture. I was working 3 fucking different jobs. I was hustling. I was getting after it. So when I see younger guys like, "Oh, I live with my parents. I'm 30." It's like at some point you got to grow up. Yeah, Mr. Fantastic. Corey sounds like me, a little antisocial when I see people. It's not that I'm antisocial. I don't like people that I've never seen before that are total strangers, and they usually do it in the most obnoxious way. I remember last year I was eating with one of my best friends. We're in the middle of this conversation. There's this couple that's sitting next to me in the table, and she's pregnant. And I could tell by the way he's looking at me that he recognized me. And so he sat there with I guess his wife or his fiance or whatever, who's pregnant with his child. And I'm like really in the middle of explaining something to my friend. And he just starts going, "Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me," louder and louder and more obnoxious. And then to go, "Oh, you changed my life. My girl's pregnant because you blah, blah, blah." It's like, you were there for a fucking hour and you said nothing, and you wait till I'm in the middle of a conversation, a really intense conversation with one of my closest friends in the world, and you yell obnoxiously to get my attention instead of waiting until there was a pause in the conversation. That kind of shit annoys the hell out of me. And internally, I want to tell a guy to fuck off because he's being rude. But I was nice because I'm a nice person. And it's just, don't do that. It's like, I'm really not that important. I'm just another fucking pasty white guy from South Florida.
Steven Adolko, favorite handgun for self-defense?
Well, my favorite full-size pistol is my Zev OZ9. And for more concealability, if you're going to like appendix carry or hip carry, I would suggest a 6-hour P365 XL with a red dot on it, and then a backup magazine. That's my favorite gun. Hold on, I've got a puppy trying to eat the wires. Get out of there, Megs. You fucking pain in the ass. So you left Ocean at your parents'?
Yeah, she didn't want her leash on.
Yeah, that's fine.
What'd you do? She's been doing that a lot.
So we got 6 dogs here, 5 puppies that you got to watch because they piss and they shit. And you have to look at the ground because you might step on a turd, you might step in a puddle of piss, or they're chewing on wires, which is a pain. But they're a lot of fun, and they're cute as hell.
Ghost CC, your work changed my dating life. I used to date 3 to 4 girls a week before finding my girl. Mind blowing how well it works when you apply it. Thanks.
You're welcome. See, if you just apply what's in there, you get the results. Rusty Merch says, if I saw Corey, I'd just hold up 3 fingers with a nod and keep walking. I like that. Sometimes people will walk by if I'm outside somewhere eating, and they'll yell something, and it's sometimes unintelligible. I've had people driving down the fucking road. Skyway, go Skyway, save my life, man. You know, and we're big crowds and everybody's looking over like, what the fuck's going on? Like, don't do that. Don't be obnoxious.
Guarf Malvia. I chatted with a girl in my accommodation last month. She was asking me a question, playing with her hair and biting her lips. So I asked her out and she said no.
Maybe she's got a boyfriend. Maybe she's taken. But she liked what she saw. And you can probably take great comfort in knowing that later that night when she was railing her boyfriend, she was probably thinking about your face. If she's biting her lip, that's a sign of attraction. Or maybe she was just drunk.
Or maybe she had chapped lips.
Yeah, or she had dry lips. Jinx.
Maybe he totally misinterpreted.
Kapoo X. How big of a mistake, or was it if she mentioned her boyfriend on our date and started talking about it? You wrote to keep it positive and lighthearted in the book, but it came out of her spontaneously.
That's really good.
So you're on a date with a chick that's got a boyfriend.
That sucks. I feel really bad.
Well,
for you.
there now you know that she's not, that hoe ain't
I feel
loyal.
horrible.
She belongs to the streets.
That calls for the mug.
Agrisomnia. I'm separated, had 1 month emotional affair with woman in a committed relationship. Her boyfriend had become needy. I told her to call me if anything changes. She says, wrong time, so I walked. Right call?
Yes, you don't entertain women that have boyfriends.
Tough.
Your attitude is, hey, I'd love to hang out. You know, if it doesn't work out with your dude, you know, hit me up. And, you know, if I'm still single, we can go out on a date. And then leave the ball in her court. Don't stick around trying to change your mind.
Okay.
Alright.
This is from Stunk Crazy 929. Fun idea for a combo. Is it a red flag if she wants to call you daddy?
I prefer it. Daddy. Yes, daddy.
In public? That's gross.
Yes, daddy. Yes, I'm daddy. Call me daddy.
I call Jack daddy.
There you go. See?
But
he's
If you're a man, she'll call you daddy. And if not, she'll probably call you an asshole or something.
No, that's what I call my father. I'm not calling
You're
him
not awake.
daddy.
You're not a sound mic.
What about Dada?
That's absolutely
Dad.
off,
Yep,
fucking
dada.
Dada.
limits. Off limits, 100%. That's for the man who gave me life, and that's it.
Hey, no.
PP
What's the problem?
asking me a question.
Uh,
He wants to know what my thoughts are on ex wanting to come to his house, even if she used closure topic instead of contacting through phone. PP, I'm really feeling for you, dude. She doesn't want to contact you. Oh, I got double mics here. I don't know what to do with this. Too much. I think that you should definitely have her bring over a bottle of wine and tell her that you're gonna get ingredients for like either both of your favorite meals and that you're going to cook dinner together. And see what she says if
I'm
she's
gonna drain the
come
lizard.
over.
I will return.
And I think that you should absolutely do a dinner thing. Make sure that you guys are both like initiating cooking together.
Andrew says to have that PP's overthinking it. and
Yeah,
that
you're
you should-
thinking too much. I
that,
agree
that
with
the
Andrew.
chick should get all the stuff and bring it to her.
Do not do that. And if that's the
No,
case, then
I
like
agree with Andrew. I disagree with you.
no, because then she's gonna be like, why are you asking me to pay for everything? Like don't do that, because then she can get like really upset about that. She'll make it about money. Don't do that. If that's the case, just be like, here's like $200 for like whatever, go pick up like a good bottle of wine and ingredients for dinner, and I'd like to cook dinner with you. Let's
For
talk about
BR07, how to deal with meddling mother-in-law.
That's a really good one. Mother-in-laws are always super tricky.
Well, I
Let's- yeah,
She's awesome. I mean, she says things that's like her opinion, but she doesn't over intrude about stuff. She knows that, I mean, me and Jack have our own life and we're gonna do what we want to do, but she does give her opinion. But other than that, she kind of backs away after that. She doesn't force her opinion on us or what we should or shouldn't do. We take her advice and listen, but she's not like overbearing or anything like that. I've actually got pretty lucky with well, my ex's mother-in-law, she was a nightmare, but that's because she used to smoke a bunch of weed and do pills and crap, so I didn't really
Those
like
damn
her.
weed heads.
Cause we used to live on base, so that's dangerous. She'd get us kicked off the base, out of her son loses job and stuff. So she just wasn't a good mother, I don't think. But my mother-in-law, she's very, very nice and good person, gives good advice. So I got lucky.
Yeah.
We got some news.
Yeah.
We got new super chats down there.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, we
the
did.
one.
Jared, how to go into a health committed relationship after dating around for years across different cities and places in the world.
Well, all relationships start out as casual, hanging out, having fun, hooking up. And when you guys are having a lot of fun together and you're applying what's in the book, women are going to just slowly become stuck to you like white on rice. They'll be stuck to you like a sucker fish, like Meg's here, who always wants attention. And it's just a natural process. It's, like I talk about in the book, you start out dating once a week. You're taking measured steps. And eventually what happens if you're following the book, typically week 6, week 7, she's going to be in love with you. And she's pretty much going to always be at your house. And it just happens naturally. So if you really like somebody and you click with her, she really likes you, it's just a natural progression. And that's why it's important before you meet somebody like that you're very familiar with the book, you've read it 10 to 15 times, and you've been applying it. That's the most important thing, because you got to get the experience. Because when you get the experience, that's when you get good enough to not screw it up with what you consider as your dream woman.
Alfie asks, what are your favorite TV shows?
I literally just answered it.
Oh,
I love that. But let's talk about it.
Favorite TV shows?
yeah.
Go for it.
Mine is, y'all already know, Sex in the City.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
Temptation Island.
Yeah. So I started this whole like Naked and Afraid, Alone, The Survivor, Extracted is a new one that I'm really into. I've got us all watching The 1,000-Pound Sisters. We're watching 90 Day Fiance.
This is weird. That's
All of us.
you.
No, we're
All
all
of
watching
us.
this shit while we work.
I'm not even here.
Yeah, I don't really have a choice in the matter.
Yeah,
You guys
no,
just put
I
that
take control
bullshit
over
on TV.
the television always. I'm just constantly. I need because I have
You
such
talk a
bad.
little more in the mic.
I have such bad ADHD that I need like background sound while I'm doing the newsletters. So if I don't have like something going on, because the playlists in here get old, so I need Breaking Bad is fire, Sopranos fire, Peaky Blinders fire, Better Call Saul. I started it, couldn't finish it. Yeah.
You came out.
Tim Sweeney.
yeah,
Corey,
I
would you date a
watched it.
1,000-pound girl? Absolutely fucking not. Can you imagine how bad she smells?
Oh my god.
1,000
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
So wait, do you guys watch
You'd have
the
to
1,000
roll
Pound
her,
Sisters?
roll her in a flour and look for the wet spot.
Because the latest episodes,
Ew.
I have not made Corey like sit through and be miserable. So please don't ruin it for him. Outlander was great. Haven't finished it though, because they've been dragging that last season out really bad.
Did you
Um,
say your friend likes big girls?
I had a buddy I went to high school with that married a
She
fat
wouldn't
girl. He
cheat.
loved fat girls. It's just, and he was jacked, fit, and in shape, handsome. He could have any girl he wanted. He loved fat girls, and he married one. He's happier than a pig in shit.
JB Yankees 27. Can girls have guy friends?
It depends. Honestly,
If he's friends with her boyfriend,
if
too.
he's gay. Yeah.
Yeah, if he's
If he's
gay.
gay, yes. If they've known each other since like they were like since preschool, sure.
Yeah, but they're not going to be hanging out one-on-one with
She's
those
gotta pee.
guys.
She's looking at you. She needs to go out. Sorry. She's telling you she has to pee.
Junkie, I gotta
She's
pee.
trying.
Put me on the pee
The two of
pad.
them,
Just
are-
put her on the pee pad.
she's not gonna pee on the pee pad.
I thought she was well trained.
Yeah, no, she likes grass.
All right,
Who's talking?
that's great.
At Ida's places, my wife tells me that I'm like a whiny girl when I tell her my boundaries. Ask her for more love or tell her when she does something.
She told him he was like a whiny girl. If
Yeah.
he set a boundary,
Yeah.
Wow.
oof, she
That's-
doesn't respect you.
That's disrespectful.
Oh my god.
That's a slap in the face.
Slap in the face, knee in the nuts. No bueno. So again, we want to finish reading that, Jade.
Oh yes. When I tell her my boundaries, ask her for more love or tell her when she does something I don't like. What should I do or tell her?
Well, you got to say, don't talk to me that way. And if she just, whines and, says you're a whiner and makes fun of you, it's like, look, I'm telling you something that's important to me and you're dismissing it like it's unimportant. Like, number one, you got to apologize for that because you're basically telling me that what I got to say is not valid and unimportant, and that's not going to work. And if I'm telling you something that I don't like and you're laughing at it or you're saying I'm whiny, it's, no, I'm not. You're not treating me the way I'm be treated. And if she keeps being abusive, then you say, you know what? I don't appreciate this. I don't appreciate your attitude. And I'm going to go. Have a great day. I'll see you later. I'm going to go for a drive.
Sounds like boss girl energy. Like she
Yeah.
just doesn't care.
Yeah, she thinks he's a bitch. And he's probably been a little too soft and squishy and he let her get away with it. And so now he's kind of got a little mini tyrant he's dealing with.
Talking about abusive, Nicholas Cuomo. When you express that you feel like your woman doesn't respect you, value your time, and is taking you for granted, and she responds with, "I will not be gaslit. That is not true." What then?
Just then you got to say it is true, and you're dismissing something that I'm bringing to as a concern. You can't solve problems unless you can talk openly and honestly about them, and she's just basically going, fuck you. Because somebody that just, that's a weird thing to throw. Oh, I won't
He has
be
a poop in his
gaslit.
mouth.
Huh?
He has a poop in his mouth.
Don't touch that.
Oh,
Erica, we got a poop over here.
2 poops and clean 3 peas.
They were in his mouth.
They were in his mouth.
jeez.
More?
There's
Yeah.
2 over here. Can you bring a paper towel? Fucking gross. Sorry, guys. We're having to deal with puppy turds on the carpet. And Momo decided I'm going to eat. She likes to eat turds, which poodles, they kind of do that, and it's disgusting. I don't know why. So she brought up somebody's turd over here. It's right here.
Just in here. There's
Oh,
shit.
shit.
Beep. This is what you get
And
in
there's,
the non-edited version.
yeah, there you go. See, you guys wanted us to live stream, and this is the kind of interruptions we have. Yeah, it'd be great if you don't.
No, Erica.
Hey.
That's nasty.
You're not.
Fucking nasty girl. So the fact that this guy's girlfriend, yeah, just what you wanted to see. Hey, they all paid extra for that. Oh, I haven't even eaten lunch yet. For a woman to say, "I will not be gaslit," that's somebody that gaslights you, and so she's not respecting you or your time, and you're trying to explain yourself, and it's like she's the one doing the gaslighting, and that's not a good sign. It's not a good sign where a woman throws something like that in your face. So you need to let her know that she's crossing the line and she's being disrespectful and she needs to treat you properly. And if she won't, and if she just keeps saying, "Oh, you're I will not be gaslit," it's like, I'm telling you a genuine concern and you're basically dismissing it and ignoring it. And that's not going to fly. This is not how communication goes. Communication is not a one-way street. You got to listen to me and I will listen to you. But if you just dismiss it out, Hannah, just say I'm gaslighting you, that's bullshit. It's not going to work. And you need to apologize for that. And if she still is obstinate and stubborn, then Just say, I'm gonna go for. If you live together, I'm gonna go for a drive. I don't appreciate this, and go for a drive. If you're over at her house or she's over at yours, you say, well, you got two choices. You can apologize and we can talk this out like an adult, or you can leave. Your choice. But just dismissing my concerns and saying they're not important when you're wasting my time, taking me for granted, ain't gonna work.
Sounds like reverse psychology.
Yep. Yeah, that's what a gaslighter does. A gaslighter says, you're gaslighting me. I will not be gaslit. She's not willing to admit that she's been fucking up.
John, I thought you said in your book, girls will date broke men. I take great care of myself and work out, respect myself, but I can't find work. Should I not date until I have money in my own house, etc.?
If you can't find work, my suggestion is to read Mastering Yourself and apply. It's free to read in the members area of the website. All you got to do is subscribe to the email newsletter at understandingrelationships.com. But it spells out specifically in there how to get any job you want. For you to just say, I can't get a job, I can't find work, that tells me your plan and the way you're going about it sucks. So your strategy sucks. So you need to change it. When I was working for other people, I got every single job I ever went after. And so I also did a video many years ago called How to Get Any Job You Want. It's probably 15 years at least. But I went in further detail in the book. And so my suggestion to you, because this is the most important thing you need. As a man, you got to be able to work and earn a living. And to just say, well, I can't find work. Well, there's something you're doing in your approach that is getting in the way of it. So you need to change your strategy.
The green and blue kitchen. She came back 9 months after trying to friend zone me. She came over for dinner, but for the second date, she said she'd prefer to do something first, like a date before coming over.
I would just say 7 principles get an X back. It has the objection in that. Because again, you haven't heard from her in 9 months, and now she wants you to... Did you guys hook up? Because again, she's got to come over 3 dates in a row, and you want to see that she's flexible and she's submissive and goes along with your agenda. And so if she says, "Oh, I'd rather go on a date first, so I'd rather go eat somewhere first," and I would say, "Man, I'm just in the mood to hang. It's been a long week. I'm just in the mood to hang at my place. If you don't want to come over and make dinner together, then give me a call in a couple weeks, and maybe I'll be up for meeting you out then." And that's the takeaway. So that's laid out in 7 Principles Get an X Back. So I would suggest you follow it. That's why it's there, is for exactly those kind of objections. Because you want to see that she's going to submit to you and do what you want. Not be boss girl, pain in the ass, take me out, spend money on me. If she broke it off and you haven't heard from her in 9 months and now she's back, she's there to earn another chance with you, not the other way around. So you're not going to start jumping through your butt because she wants you to take you out.
Meek B. After 11 years, she left. We divorced and sold. I felt stuck in life. I worked hard, gave us a home, but never felt it was enough. Stress made romance a chore. I became passive and stopped showing love.
Well, read the book. Read the book, apply it, find somebody new. On to the next, man. There's nothing you can do about what was.
And Akul wants to know, what cologne do you wear?
I like Bulgari cologne. So Bulgari Blue, Bulgari Extreme, Bulgari Aqua, the blue one.
That one's my favorite.
Aquamarine. I get a lot of compliments on that. Another one it's kind of obscure. They don't really make it, but you can get it on Amazon. It's Dirty English, which I like. But the problem with it evaporates pretty quick. It's like a masculine scent. I like it. I've gotten lots of compliments on that one. But the thing I don't like about it is after an hour, you can't smell it anymore. It kind of poof. So I think it's a little watered down, but I like the scent.
Sportscast, what's the average age range of your coaching calls?
Most of the guys are probably between 25 and 45, I would say.
You have to be able to afford it.
And I got guys that are in their 70s that are calling me. They're widowers or with the same person their whole lives or whatever, and something accident or something. So divorce, I mean, you name it. So I'd say probably the majority of guys that I talk to on the phone are probably between 35 and 55. The majority of them, I would say.
Madi A. Corey, at a party, who takes home the hottest girl? A 97% man dancing flawlessly like Michael Jackson and owning the dance floor, or a 3% man with zero dance skills but full mastery of your work? The guy
Well,
who
a
can't
3%
dance.
guy, even if he can't dance, is going to get out there and make a fool of himself and laugh and joke and have a good time, and everybody's going to laugh with him, and then he's going to take the prom queen home and fuck her because he doesn't care. The guy with Michael Jackson, they'll laugh and he'll be entertaining. Oh, wow, that guy can really dance. You can be my friend. You can fix my sprinkler system. You can rotate the tires in my car.
Chad will get her.
Chad will get her. Chad Thundercock. Chad Thundercock. Bob Thundercock. Don Thundercock. Tom Thundercock. Tyrone Thundercock. They're gonna lay the pipe.
Can you scroll up? There's a that one.
This guy, Nicholas Cuomo.
I don't get it.
Also, when she says nobody understands why you won't come to me for the third time when you're following 3X rules, how do you handle her exploiting personal info? Why you won't come to me?
When she says nobody understands why you won't come to me for the third time when you're following the 3 times rule, how
Is
to
this
get
the
an X
same
back.
guy we were just
Yeah,
answering
I
the
think he did an
questions?
update.
Oh, yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't understand what you're asking,
gonna rephrase
Nicholas.
that?
Maybe you can drop a couple more. Your sentence doesn't make any sense. I don't know what you're
I
trying to
know it's
communicate.
limited text, but try to
Yeah, I
put
don't
like
I don't
one of
understand what he's
2
asking.
and 2 of 2. Put a 2-parter.
He says yes, the 3-time rule. I don't.
What's the 3 times?
I think he's trying to apply 7 principles, get an X back, and he wants her to come over 3 times in a row, but he's getting pushback. If you're getting pushback, that's why you say, yeah, it's been a long week. I'm just in the mood to hang at my place. If you don't want to come over and make dinner, then call me in a couple weeks, and maybe I'll be up for meeting you out then. A Bacha 101. Hey Corey, I want to ask you, what is your opinion on men that are bitter towards women and not focusing to better themselves? And do you think society is now programming that men should fail? So when guys, because the world gives you a lot of reasons, an unlimited number of reasons to be bitter and to be pissed off and to be nihilistic, like the black pill and the red pill guys tend to be. And because it's easy to be a quitter, it's easy to be mediocre. I mean, most people are major and minor things anyways. And if they're bitter towards women, especially, guys that are talking about, you'll see, commentary, oh, she's mid, she's this, Sydney Sweeney, she's mid, or Scarlett Johansson's mid. They say things like that. That's their way of labeling a woman so they feel better about the fact that they can't get anybody. And if you blame other people, or you blame society, or you say social media has ruined women, which you see a lot in the red pill community, that's a cope. That's a story. That's an excuse. And when you make stories up and you make excuses as to why not getting what you want is not your fault, well, then you're totally powerless to shape and change your destiny. And therefore, nothing is going to ever change. And you should stay away from people like that. They're not going to help you. You want to have people that are optimistic, that are like, hey, you know what? That one didn't work out, but maybe the next one did. And you got to keep moving forward in life. Because the guys, the 3%, and that succeed in all areas of life and kill it, they didn't start out great. Everybody starts out as a novice. And hey, don't touch my wires. It's chewing my microphone cord. I don't want it to go. But, everybody starts out as a novice. And I was pretty frustrated. I was pretty angry that things didn't go my way. I wished that I would have been born like a super good looking dude and born into a good family, and that I didn't have to study any of this stuff. It was passed on to me, but that wasn't my path in life. And so I had to learn these things on my own. And I always tended to be an optimistic person, and I just had the attitude that, I'll find a way. You know, you got to find a way, not a way out. And people that are nihilistic, it's very easy to find a way out and to give up. It's hard to go for things you want. That's why I say all the time, my book, it's not a quick fix. There was somebody earlier in the chat was basically, hey, why should I read your book kind of attitude? It's, you know, how long is your book? You know, that's somebody that's probably not going to be very successful because they're already looking for the shortcut. They're looking for the easy way out. And that's just not the way life is. Life is hard. Success is hard. Developing yourself is hard. Overcoming things that happened to you in your childhood is fucking hard. Just like, you know, Daryl says, it's literally free. You can read it for free on my website. And it's difficult to go for the things you want, but that's why most people don't have the things that they want in life. Is because of their story they make up and the excuses that they tell themselves about why they can or they can't have something. It's like Henry Ford had a quote that he said. He says, whether you think you can or you can't, either way, you are right.
Jessica Silva, can you be different from your parents? What if one parent is a known cheater?
Well, you could choose to not be like them, and some people do, you know, but for, I think, the average person, if that's what was modeled for them at home, then that becomes who they are. Eat Us Places sends $20. Thank you, Corey. You helped me a lot, and for all, you have a great weekend. So thank you. Thank you for the super chat.
JB Yankees 27. What to do if my girl has issues after having sex and never wants to do it? Should I stick around or move on?
She has issues after sex. Like, can you be a little more specific? Does that mean she didn't like fucking him and doesn't want to fuck him anymore? He says, my girl. If a girl doesn't want to have sex with you and doesn't want to spend time with you,
She's not your girl.
Yeah, go spend time with somebody who does. If you're not fucking, you're just friends.
Carlos Daniel, do you think your girlfriend should hang out in groups with dudes that had interests on her and girlfriends?
A lady's not going to put herself in those positions. A chick who comes from a broken home or was raised by a father who was a bitch and did a shitty job is going to think that stuff is just swell. You know, again, it's like when I think about like my high school buddies, some of the ones that have been married for over 30 years, I know their wives as long as they did. Am I going to call them and ask them to go to lunch or to dinner or happy hour to have drinks? Or I'm going to call all my buddies' wives and say, hey, let's have a girls' happy hour, just me and all the wives. They're all going to think I'm trying to fuck their wives if I was to do something like that. And they wouldn't do something like that. They would know that that's inappropriate. And so, again, if she's raised right, she's just not going to do that.
This is a different scenario. What if it's all girls and then one of the girl invites the guy? Let's say it's 5 girls and the one guy that used to like you shows. Should you avoid that whole situation or?
What, as a woman?
Yeah, let's say the guy likes you, but you're mostly with your girlfriends and he comes too.
So and you're in a relationship.
Yeah. Should you avoid going out with your girlfriends just because he came?
Well, I would say in that case, some of your girlfriends aren't really your girlfriends. Because if they know you're in a relationship and they invite some dude that likes you, even though they know you're in a relationship, they're stirring shit up.
Yeah.
And you may have some women that are in your peer group that are trying to break your relationship up on purpose because they're jealous of the fact that you have somebody.
Yeah.
And that would be something that would be a red flag. That's not good. That's, you know, it sounds like you got some Judas goats that you think are friends, but they're actually a Judas goat.
Yeah. A man wouldn't go hang with 5 women. Nah.
If he's single and they're single, he would. But in that case, if they're all taken, the fact that he's going there and he likes one of the girls, it's, you know, that's very mischievous. The simulation specialist. She dumped me. I begged. She still said no. I went no contact for 2 months. She watched all my stories, and I posted a story of me on a date she unfollowed. Why watch so much just to unfollow over that? Well, she clearly got butthurt. She'll probably be back. She may have unfollowed, but at the end of the day, if she was watching all your stories and then unfollowed, there was obviously some interest on her part. But hey, she dumped. She said no. So that should be very satisfying. So fuck her. She'll probably be back. Especially when she hears that you're really happy or the girl's really hot. And if not, who fucking cares? You upgraded.
This guy keeps asking the same question about watching stories.
Oh, that's what I was just looking at.
Should they be avoided?
Well, I would avoid them just because it gives a read receipt to whoever the girl is that you're watching her stories. Especially if she publishes a story and within seconds you're going, oh, look at that.
You're the first one.
Oh,
Yeah,
Roy
you're the
Barnes
first-
get an update. Remember from a couple
Roy
streams ago?
Barnes? Hi, Coach. Remember that coworker who tried to get me in trouble? She's been gossiping that I'm a Trump supporter and everyone's been distant in the office. Should I start working elsewhere?
Oh my goodness.
Are they working in a job or was he working at like one of those
Working at like a WeWork?
yeah, something like that?
No, I thought he was like at a job. We were talking to him on the stream ago. I think he was at like a job. But that coworker goes like different days. They schedule different days, so they don't see each other. Okay, God damn it.
Get that little boy. Bring him here. Little Napoleon.
He's got problems. He's got real problems. He's got demons.
He's tiny.
Little
behind
Elon?
you.
Yes.
It's
Oh,
him.
He's
it
a
is at
troublemaker.
It's absolutely. It's at a WeWork.
Is it a WeWork? We were asking.
He says
It
just
is.
updated.
It's a WeWork. Yeah, I would work somewhere else. Well, so WeWork, that's just a bunch of independent contractors, right? Well, if you got a chick that's causing drama, I'd go somewhere else. Then.
Oh.
Build the
JB
wall.
says, "Yo, Coach, you mentioned one of your buddies was part on a list because he had nudes of his ex-girlfriend. Was he ever to overcome that situation? I don't know what he's talking about."
On a list.
On a
Hey.
list?
Hey, you little shit.
What list?
On an A list?
D list?
I don't know what he's talking about.
No.
Yeah, if your life is a drama-free zone and chicks at the WeWork office are causing problems, I'd probably go somewhere else. Yeah, if somebody says, I thought WeWork went bankrupt, a big failure from SoftBank, which SoftBank ended up.
Sex
Going belly
offender
up, too.
list.
I'm pretty sure it did go bankrupt, and then because didn't that dude start doing like real
Erica, you don't
estate?
have a mic in front of you.
Oh. Didn't that dude start doing like real estate, and didn't he like build a couple buildings around somewhere,
I
and
don't
didn't
know
that
what
have
you're
to like
talking
go
about.
bankrupt and then
Can we
they
get
changed the
back
name
on-
of
I
it?
don't
Yeah, let's
know
get
where
back
our
on track to the
business
questions
is.
here.
I'm pretty
I think we got like one more. It's 2:50.
They said sex offender list.
What?
Sex offender.
What the fuck are you talking about?
JB?
It's JB.
There's an
Sex
online
offender list?
website that you can go on and Google.
Oh, I know what he was talking. So it was a guy I knew, and so what happened was, he and his high school girlfriend used to send him nudes all the time, and so when he was like 21, 22, hey, you little shit. All right, little Elon, we're gonna keep you quiet. Just don't pee on me. So he's like 21, 22, dating a new girl, and she's a little nutty, kind of a nutter. And I guess they split up or whatever. And so she, because she's nuts, this is why you don't date crazy women, she called the police and said, "Oh, my boyfriend's got underage nudes on his phone." And so she ends up telling him this because she's trying to manipulate. "Oh, I told the police that you have nudes on your phone of your former girlfriends from high school." And he's like, "What?" He says, "You better undo that." And then so she calls the police, says, "Oh, I was just a joke." And he says, "Well, you reported it, so now we have to investigate it." And he's a young kid. He didn't know any better. So the police show up at his door and he hands him his phone. They go through it. And then the attorney's like, "Well, we can send you to jail for like 10 years or something. Or you can admit that you had these and then you'll have to register as a sex offender and we'll give you probation." He didn't have any money. He was broke, came from a poor family. And he took the plea deal because he didn't want to risk going to prison because he really didn't have the money to fight it. And so wherever he moves to, he's got to register. He's a good dude, you know. but he made a mistake of dating a crazy chick. And did he overcome it? It's like he misses out on a lot of business and a lot of things he would normally get just because of that. But he's, he's in his, I think, 40s now at this point. So he's just accepted it. That's just life. There's nothing he can do about it. He can't undo it. He's not going to go back and try to relitigate it. Right, little Elon? You little shit.
Well,
Mr. Poop Eater.
the girls that are sending pictures while they're underage, they should get in trouble too. I mean, not that ever happens, but
They're putting themselves in that situation.
Yeah, it's like the prosecutor understood what it was, but it technically violated the letter of the law because it was pictures from when they were both underage. It didn't matter if it was his girlfriend, and he didn't care. He just wanted another scalp for his re-election campaign. And, unfortunately, a lot of people in law enforcement, a lot of people that work in the attorney general's office, the prosecutors, a lot of them, let's be real, are just fucking dirtbags. And, just look at all that stuff that Trump went through. Look at, what's her name? Letitia James, the attorney general in New York, who she's trying to become rich and famous by just suing Trump. Even when she was running for election, I'm going to get Trump, because she's a Democrat. You look at Stacey Abrams, who ran for governor, and after she lost because she was incompetent and unqualified, they gave her access to something like, I think it was $1 billion, wasn't it? Like, through like USAID or whatever. And so she was put in charge, and they gave her some BS multi-$100,000 a year salary to basically buy energy efficient appliances for poor people. And I think in total it was like,
Glenn says $3 billion.
3 billion. It was like, so it was, I think they only ended up buying something like 45 appliances. And so she draws this big enormous salary for a year and then resigns, and that's what happens. That's how they pay each other off. You got your friends, your family, they go work for these NGOs and you get these big salaries, and it's like a bunch of corrupt people in government. And unfortunately, that's just kind of the world we have to deal with. Yeah, that's Biden for you. He just did an interview. It's like fucking right off into the sunset, dude. You can't even string a sentence together. And they're all like, what does Joe Biden think about Donald Trump's presidency? He's the guy's a fucking vegetable. Who cares? But it's pretty crazy. All right, we're going to do one more question.
Last question.
I'm
Vinay Goyal. I'm an introvert and into photography. How to network with people who are in the big industry.
Well, you got to go get involved in those circles. If you're an introvert, well, you're going to have to develop your people skills, because if you want to become successful in your industry, you're going to have to go rub elbows with people in that industry or other people that are also photographers. So maybe there's a Facebook group you can join, or some kind of social media, or you talk to people that are in the industry that do well, or there's photographers that are succeeding at the highest level that you want. Go hang out with them, go find out where they go to trade shows. I know in Hollywood there's unions for stuff like that. So you got to see what kind of social circle is available to you in your industry and go participate. All right, guys, we will see you next Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern and next Friday at 1 p.m. And until next time, we'll see you guys next week.
Happy Mother's
Hope you enjoyed
Day.
the puppy
Happy Mother's
turds.
Day.
Glad we could
Happy
share the
Mother's
puppy
Day,
turds with you.
everybody.